Okay, so I saw your question about like making sure you're, monitoring your credit and making sure your information is safe on the internet. And I've had some of those same problems. I've had my identity stolen. I actually have had what you mentioned where somebody filed taxes in my name, like really early in January one year. And then I went to file taxes and they're like, you've already filed. And I was like, did I? It was a whole thing. So here's what we're doing. Number one, using a password manager. We use Bitwarden. If you're not using this, it is like so worth your time to like just get yourself in a room and like get it set up for an hour. We use, did I say Bitwarden? Anyway, that's what we're using, but there's some other good ones. So get a password manager. And then when you're making new passwords, use the password manager to generate a password, which will generate some weird password with lots of numbers and letters that is unlikely to be guessed, and it'll save it for you. So, and then I would go in and use that to then go update the passwords on any like big risk stuff, like your bank accounts, your credit cards, like anything where it's like, this would be super terrible if someone got into our account. Like, I don't know if you need to like go and like, update your like, I don't know, Macy's.com account, but like if something is important, like go make that a good password if it doesn't already have a good password. So that's one, is password manager. Okay, number two, we use Delete Me to basically like search the internet for our information and delete it from, because like if there's a bunch of these websites where if you like try to like look somebody up, you can like find their address and their phone number and their email address. Like, so Delete Me basically like every quarter, it's like $100 a year, I think. Every quarter they go and like search all these sites and all the new ones that have popped up for my information, and then submit the official request to get my stuff deleted from it. And then they send me a report every quarter about what's happened, and that has been really great. So I definitely like that, Delete Me. And then number three, I am not currently paying for credit monitoring, but I do think that's a good idea, especially if you're worried about it. What I do is every time I get one of those letters that's like, your information was in a data breach, usually in those letters, it's like, the company whose information was hacked will be like, we are sorry, and we are going to buy you 1 year or 2 years or whatever of like free credit monitoring with this coupon code. Every time that is offered to me, I sign up for it. And then, every once in a while, I'll get an email that's like, you have, like somebody's opened up a new credit account in your, and I'm like, okay, let me go make sure that's mine or whatever. But the other thing is, freeze your credit. This is my fourth tip, and I just thought of it. So because I've been a victim of identity theft, if you freeze your credit, and you have to do it with all three of the bureaus, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax, freeze your credit with all three of them, then you will essentially, nobody, including you, can open up new credit under your name. You also want to do this for your kids too, because like kids' credit being stolen by like family members who like open up a credit card in some like 11-year-old's name, and then like nobody finds out till they're like 19 trying to get their own credit card situation is like a thing. So, but you freeze it. Then when you need to open up a credit, like let's say you're mortgage shopping or getting a new car or whatever, whenever you do need to apply for something, you just go and thaw your credit for like a period of time. And I think you can thaw it for like, you can say like, I need to thaw this for like 1 week because I'm, applying for this new airline credit card for good mileage or whatever, and it will not, and then it'll like unfreeze it for like 1 week, and then it'll lock it right back down. You schedule it. So you can trust that like it'll only open for those number of days, and then it'll go back on lock. And basically nobody can open stuff without like thawing it, and you'll have the password and information to be able to thaw it yourself. So that means that's really a good way, because then nobody can open up credit in your name instead of like finding out later that somebody did. Now you have to clean it up. Like this basically almost like reduces the need for you to have credit monitoring in most situations, because nobody's going to be able to open up credit unless they happen to try. They had your information and then they happened to try during this few days that you had it unlocked or, thawed because of you were applying for something, like it's really unlikely. And since I've had my credit frozen, I haven't had any trouble with my identity being stolen. And I've had it was being stolen like multiple times in the past. Like I would like deal with it and then another card would be open like 2 years later. So I was having issues, and like freezing my credit is what eventually solved it for me. So if you're anxious about it, that's definitely something to try.